Well, Dad, are you able to locate the Nidchei
Yeah, yeah. What's
Yisrael?
your what's the interest in the Sefer all of a sudden?
All right, so we have interest. If I recall, oh, here's the Sefer. Oh, you have it right here. This is the
Mm,
Sefer Nidchei Yisrael. Today is the 92nd yard site of
yeah,
Chafetz
yeah,
Chaim.
right.
What Sefer are you holding there, Dad? Is that a Sefer written by the Chafetz Chaim?
Is the Nidchei Yisrael that you asked about?
In my estimation, the Nidchei Yisrael is a Sefer authored by um, the Chafetz Chaim, and
Right.
it's all about, I think, Nidchei, is that giving or spreading out of Israel?
No, it's the dispersed. It's a
Ah,
Sefer about the Jewish people that have been spread out to the four corners of the earth, primarily European Jews who left Europe to go to America. That was the primary concern of the Chafetz Chaim.
mm,
First warning them they shouldn't go, but realizing, practically speaking, that they were going. And so, right, we say in davening, Nidchei Yisrael,
right. Kabetz
the
Nidchei, Amo
Sabbath
Yisrael.
Nidchei Yisrael, they should be Jewish people should be able to come out there. It means, but that wasn't the primary focus. That's the first couple of prakim. And then later on, mostly the Sefer talks about if you are going to go to Artso Sabris to America, that basic halacha, what you have to keep Shabbos, you have to know there's the Tahara, you have to know about kashrus, you have to know about davening and Torah learning and all that. It's a very basic Sefer. He wrote a similar Sefer for soldiers that got drafted into World War One, and he didn't want them to be drafted, but he recognized it was inevitability that Jews would have to go to war in World War One, and so he said, minimally, here's the basic things that you have to do to keep up your Torah Judaism if you are going to be in the army. I
It's
forgot the
it's
name of that
so
Sefer.
I forget what that one is also, but it's amazing. The Chafetz Chaim wrote Sfarim, it seems like, to address specific needs of the congregation. And I think it's pretty cool. Rabbi Lopiansky talks about how people often write Sefarim that are their own findings and their own estimations of certain topics that interest them. Software and copyright and halacha, and they're beautiful, brilliant Sefarim. But real Torah giants write things that the congregation needs.
Right, right,
Practical, simple text, and very
right.
deceptively clear. Dad, I wanted to bring you onto the podcast because you have a very unique Sefer of Nidchei Yisrael from the Chofetz
Right,
Chaim.
right.
Legend
Yeah,
has it that Grandpa, old Zayda,
yeah.
was involved. What's the story?
It was found amongst the belongings of your great grandfather, my grandfather, Isidore Brooke, who was born in Dvinsk and came to Norfolk, Virginia in the probably in the 20s and 30s. And somehow somebody, well, it wasn't somebody, it was the Chafetz Chaim's son, Aaron Kagan, who got to the Norfolk community, either in person or through someone else, and asked to raise money for the printing of this particular. And your Zadie, my Zadie, came up with the money, and he and some others from the Virginia area got recognition on the front piece of the Sefer right here.
Can you hold it
So
up, Daddy-O?
you can see it. I don't know if you can see it there, but that's these are all the donors.
Newport News.
Well, that was the
Lebe
top guy,
Hirsch.
top donor. Yeah, but underneath there, you should be able to see.
Meir Norfolk. I see it right there.
Right. So Rav Yitzchak Bar Lev Hirsch Brook, Beit Resh Vav Kuf, the ear Norfolk. Eli's Nishmas Aviv, in memory of his father Lev Hirsch ben Shalom Yaakov. So that will be your great great grandfather. Zatzal Nifter Dalad Elul is this to be a great grandma's Yortzeit just passed, and there's other relatives, Ephraim, who also gave to the cause. Yeah, it's very it's a lot of famous and off there. There's some Newport News Peninsula people on the second page. I know some of these families, the Wilkes family.
Butterman.
Yeah, and they also gave. The only concerning thing is that
Uh-oh.
inside the safer is the donation envelope here. from the payable, returnable to Rav Aaron Kagan. And the only reason that's concerning is it causes one to worry whether they sent the Sefer and then your great grandfather failed to send in his check. But I don't think he would have done that. But it's a nice little piece of history there. Knickerbocker Station, New York, P.O. Box 66, Rav Aaron Kagan. He took upon himself, the son of the Chafetz Chaim. He came to New York because where else was he going to go? And he took it upon himself to print the Sefer of his father and became a Torah giant in his own right. Got a PhD, I don't know where from, and he wrote the there's also an English version of it there where you can see
The Dispersed of Israel by Rabbi Israel Meir Cohen. This is a form of Shulchan Aruch intended to stress the Torah way of life in the United States of America.
That's it. So it's a good read. It's a short read.
Why do you think Zayda crossed out? What did he cross out on there?
No, he didn't cross. I think when the envelope was sent in the Sefer, Rabbi Kagan just changed the address. It's a change of address from Broome Street in New York to P.O. Box 66. So I don't think that this is just an envelope. But the better question is, why didn't he mail it in? So we don't really know the answer to that. Hopefully he did. It's a nice work. I learned it many years ago with my friend Phil Schwartz. And I found it to be very interesting, both as a historical piece and as a basic halacha sefer. You know, what's important, what counts in this world. Okay, you have to live in New York. What was really happening was that men were leaving without their wives. And in fact, when it was your Zeta, they left, they weren't married. And that was causing all kinds of problems because no sooner did they come to the United States and they started to mix into the melting pot of American culture. And there was things going on. Sometimes the wives didn't get brought over. The kashrus was very suspect in the United States. The Chafetz Chaim knew exactly what was going on. He knew about the Chilul Shabbos. He knew about the kashrus issue. There was no OU, so there was no way to be sure that anything was kosher. Kashrus was a patchwork of Rebbeim and semi-Rebbeim who said things were kosher, nothing like we have now. And so he knew that that was slipping. He wasn't in favor of it, but he realized, practically speaking, that if Jews were going to go to this country under these circumstances that he didn't like, that at least they should have a sefer that would help guide them in trying to hold on to the Yiddishkeit in this country.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's a good read.
And that'd be pretty cool to actually learn from the sefer itself that is maybe not 100 years old now, but that's pretty cool. So that is your father's father,
right?
Your grandfather,
my grandfather, in memory of my great grandfather. Memory of my great grandfather, your great grandfather.
Wow. Oh, yep. My grandfather.
Yep. And so it's a good name. Shalom Yaakov, that's the great grandfather. Somebody hopefully take that name at some point.
Right. Where's he from? Where was he from?
I really don't know. I would have to guess if my grandfather was born in Dvinsk, so you'd have to think that they were from that area, which is Latvia. Now, current day, Evigs Poles, what they call it. There's Simcha. You've asked about that. There's Simcha of Dvinsk. So hopefully there's some connection there.
When people ask me, where is your family heritage? Where are you guys from in Europe? Your lineage, your yichus, I will tell them that I'm a ben acher ben of Rav Meir Simcha of Dvinsk, and my great grandfather learned b'chavruso the Rambam with Rav Meir Simcha, and he was part of the writing of the Or Samech and Meshech Chachma.
You might be stretching things a bit. I mean, the real story is that even though he was born in Dvinsk, he came to Lithuania very quickly after that, and he lived in Lithuania, and he actually knew your great grandmother because they were third cousins, and then they came to this country, one before the other, like the Chofetz Chaim was worried about. They were not married, but they re-met in the Berkeley section of Norfolk and quickly became married after your great-grandmother dated two other men named Isidore. Isn't that crazy? Two other men, they're both named Isidore. She ended up marrying the third Isidore.
A third time's the charm, or 3 strikes and you're out, depending on how you look at it.
Just leads to the old family joke. Wait, your grandfather Isidore?
Right. And that's what Isaac was named for, right? Isaac.
Yes.
And And
But the name here, there's been some dispute about the name, but here it is. I mean, it's right in writing. This was presumably him. Yitzchak bar Lev Hirsch. Lamed Yud Yud Beis Ayin Hirsch. Hey Yud Resh Shin. Brook Beis Resh Lovkuk. So there you go. And yeah, it's amazing looking Sefer. I like this piece, this right here, because you got Nidchei Yisrael, the front piece.
oh, the binding, Dad. The binding looks like
It's falling apart. It needs work, but published in Varsha. And then here it is in Russian also. I know a little bit of Russian. So it's Nidchei Yisrael. Oh, it is. It is. This H in Russian is a.
Oh, I didn't realize that Dad was being serious. I thought that you were saying over the name of the Sefer because that's what it says on top.
No. Sefer Nidchei Yisrael.
Oh wow.
The H is an N in Russian. This backwards N is a I. This it looks like a dollar. It's like a delta. That's D. This X is like a chi letter. And so Nidchei, and then this is how you say Israel. ISSROELT.
And why does Father know Russian?
I like to try to know a little bit about a lot of things. So I know some of the Russian letters, and I like to try to read when I can. So there you go. Good Sefer.
Thank you to your honorary judge for sharing that information. And
substitute judge
Avi Meyer Esquire. Right. We can return to our scheduled programming now.
Already in progress.